Yeah, so everyone, welcome to a new podcast. It is Sunday the 28th of June, a nice rainy Scottish day, as always, isn't there? We've not had a lot of sun recently. And last night was obviously the UFC Fight Night Austin. Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker, which was incredible. Which we will get into. That was some fight. I've never seen a fight. Actually, I've not in a long time seen a fight quite like that. No. And I think a lot of people agree with they've just not seen anything.
I felt like that full stop.
Aye, yeah. There's a couple of rounds there that you're actually like, I've never seen a round like that in my entire life. So this is episode 6 of the Fight Feed podcast. We're getting into them now. We're getting through them.
Yeah, swing of things.
I can't believe it's the 6th. And we're going to be running up to kind of Fight Island and that as well soon, which is going to be a lot of content coming in there because, I mean,
plenty to cover.
There's so much to cover.
Plenty.
There's so much to cover. I think the UFC in general, there's just so much to cover right now. Like, think of the fights
we're getting spoiled, aren't we?
that they've put on. Boxing hasn't even started up yet. And, I mean, the UFC have just been putting on banger after banger after banger. And I mean, they're literally getting
every single weekend. There's some fights on, man. Like
they're also getting
good fights.
They're also getting like fight of the year contenders. It seems to be almost every week.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? It was Burgos and Emmett last week, which was like almost like a fight of the year contender. And this week we've got another fight of the year contender, the main event, which
I'd say it's probably fight of the decade, man.
Yeah, I mean it's not. Everyone predicted that it was going to be some fight. And it didn't disappoint.
No.
I mean, literally, sometimes you do get a fight that just is built up so much, and they put a lot of pressure on it, and it just sometimes doesn't deliver. You know, it's a bit of a letdown. But this one was just unbelievable.
It really was.
Yeah. So
I guess one half to quote the main event, Poirier doesn't fight like boring fights.
No.
Every time he's involved in a fight is exceptional.
It is exceptional. It's the way, it's his style of fighting, and it is quite unbelievable. We might as well just. To be honest with you, we might as well just jump straight into it. Let's just jump straight into, obviously, the fights last night. We'll break them down the way we saw them and kind of what we think maybe should be up next.
Yeah.
But just start with let's go with let's go through them. Let's go with the co-main, the Mike Perry and Mickey Gall. Now, Mike Perry has been kind of a wee bit controversial this week. A lot of people have been speaking about him. Obviously, not really having much of a training camp. Obviously, having his girlfriend, the only cornerman, corner woman in his corner, which I guess she's got no fighting experience in the slightest. I think she was a waitress or something like that when he met her. And I think they met in like a restaurant. So she's got no fighting experience. It's not as if they were like training partners and they've came together and that's why she's in her corner. But obviously he had her in the corner. It didn't look like he was saying that he hadn't done any sparring for this either. And also, I think he was just hitting mitts with his girlfriend.
I heard that. In fact, he's hardly done any sparring.
Literally next to no sparring, just hitting mitts with his girlfriend, and that was it really. And I think a lot of people are thinking, okay, he doesn't look like he's really taking Mickey Gall very seriously, which you do need to do because he's a dangerous guy, exactly, especially in the grappling and stuff. I think that's where people thought Mickey Gall would probably win this fight. But it just didn't seem to be. No one thought that Mike Perry was taking this seriously at all. And I was kind of looking at him as well. He was like, obviously he put that picture on, which I think Dana White said was an old picture with all the cuts all over his head and his knuckles and all that. I
thought like some deep cuts, man.
I know, I think, what has he been doing?
What do you think happened there?
I think that was an old picture. I think Dana White said it was an old picture.
Was it from a fight or was it from a street fight? Or
I don't know, it could be anything with Mike Perry, couldn't it?
Horrendous cuts, man.
It could be just...
His knuckles are all like cut up.
He looked like he'd been punching walls or something, didn't he? But yeah, I think Dana White said that was an old picture because someone asked him at a press conference, like, should we be concerned? Is Mike Perry still going to make the fight? And he just said, look, it's an old picture, guys. Don't worry about it. But there was a lot of talk. Like, a lot of people kind of ruled him out, I guess, because they kind of thought, okay, he's not taking this very seriously. He's not got training partners. He admitted himself he hadn't done any sparring. And Mickey Gall's been taking it extremely seriously. He's just been getting better and better, to be honest.
His stand-up's improved drastically, by the way.
So let's go into the very first round. I think everyone thought at the very beginning of this, it would be, okay, Mickey Gall would be looking to take this to the ground, and Mike Perry would be looking just to come forward and try and knock him out. Do you know what I mean? Which it did almost look like that at the very beginning, but Mickey Gall, you're right, his
striking
getting
as well, man.
he was
those
landing
heavy shots.
He was landing all sorts, and he was trying to take his head off. To be honest with you, which
I think he actually cut him quite early on. I think he cut him in the first round.
Aye, it was like
Perry,
it was very very early, cut like just above his eye. Yeah, I thought like his striking was a lot better,
Was that actually night and day?
He's improving so much, Mickey Gall. To be honest with you, like I didn't realise that he only had one MMA fight before he got into the UFC, which
Didn't
is
realise that until right now.
just like unheard of. So it is almost like he's learning on the job when you think about it.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have an amazing track record, to be honest with you. He's not got the best track record. I mean, he's done pretty well. His first fight coming into the UFC.
Was it against Sage Northcutt?
No, it was the wrestler. What's his name again? The WWE wrestler.
Oh, CM Punk. That was his first fight in the UFC.
That was his first fight in the UFC.
Oh, was it?
And that's what he said. He's like, this is a bit of a gimmick, this fight, but I'm not a gimmick. And since then, he's just kind of went on. But nah, it's like Mickey Gall. He's a good fighter. I think everyone did think that he was going to obviously do better in the grappling, but he was controlled everywhere, to be honest with you.
I thought so as well, man. You could just see there was a massive strength difference.
Oh, see just the way
Mike Perry was literally just mounting him at will.
See Mike Perry even just getting out of any sort of submissions and stuff.
Made it look easy.
It was like if he was in a guillotine, he was just he was just bringing his head out. He was literally just pushing Mickey Gall off. It was like it just looked like he could do whatever he wanted, really. And then, to be honest, I think Mickey Gall started gassing again. Especially in the third round. He said it was due to like a liver infection the last time when he was fighting Diego Sanchez. The time that he really gassed out.
Do you believe that?
Well, now looking at this again, I'm not too sure, unless it's the same thing.
Another
liver infection, but which would maybe ask the question: is he good to cut to this weight?
Yeah.
If he is, if that is true, and it is like liver infections, maybe he's not good to cut to this weight. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's not healthy for him. Because that's
a possibility.
That's definitely what's going to get.
Speaking of cutting weight, man, Mike Perry says like welterweight's perfect for him, but did you see his post-fight press conference?
He wants to move up and fight Darren Till. Well, no, there's been a lot of back and forward going together with on social media and Instagram. So, I mean, I think I'd put him up there, definitely. Get him up and he could fight Darren Till.
I think that'd be quite a big fight, man. There's a lot of beef there, isn't there?
Hopefully they could do something in London.
That'd be unreal.
That'd be good if they could do something in London.
That'd be so good.
But if they want it quick, they'd need to do something.
Maybe?
Liverpool,
It's even closer for us.
Yeah. Was it? Did they fight in Liverpool? Did Darren Till fight?
He fought Wonderboy in Liverpool.
Wonderboy in Liverpool. That was it. Was it Wonderboy fought in Liverpool?
Echo Arena.
And then he got knocked out by Masvidal in London. Was that it?
Horrendous.
Oh, jeez, that was bad. That was bad.
Really bad.
Mike Perry, that would be a quite interesting fight, but I mean, Wonderboy. Darren Till is just so lengthy, isn't he? And I think like Mickey Gall was actually using his range in that first round pretty well against Mike Perry. To be honest, like when he did have a lot.
That's what he was saying before the fight. I've got to try and stay away from these shots.
And he was, to be honest with you, he was for like the first round. I thought he was looking pretty good. To be honest with you, I was extremely surprised with striking. Like you could almost see that Mike Perry maybe hadn't been sparring because he wasn't quite as sharp as maybe like he usually is. He was like swinging and missing quite a lot.
Yeah,
and I reckon that is probably down to not sparring and not having a full camp behind you.
Yeah,
but how crazy! Like I mean, I think he must have won quite a lot of fans over this.
Mike Perry?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just how different that is. Just see him even just walking out with his girlfriend. Just him and his girlfriend.
So interesting to watch, isn't he, man?
Yeah.
You're just waiting for him to do something.
She was good in the corner. Did you hear? She's like, yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great. And he was like, that's all I needed, to be honest with you. I think a lot of people are thinking...
He was saying it kind of gave him like time to think about what he wants to do in the next round and just sit and listen to someone else.
Yeah.
He was there to just sit back, relax, and actually just think, what am I going to do this next round?
It looks like he's maybe not had the best of relationships with cornermen, because he was definitely speaking about like maybe egos of cornermen and stuff, and he's like, sometimes the cornermen are literally just speaking to you just to try and like say, yeah, I've told him to do that type thing, they're just trying to get things across.
It's a bit of an ego thing.
And
almost.
He's like, I know what I'm doing, and I think also just seen in his post-fight interview that I think he's wanting to start up his own gym. And I think this is kind of proved to people that might want to come to him that look, I can do this completely by myself. I know what I'm doing, so I can kind of teach you the same.
Long enough, do you know what I mean?
He has. He is crazy though. He's so good to watch.
But you've got to think at that level though. you've got to have coaches to take you to the next level.
Yeah.
We're going up against these guys, let's set up a game plan, all that sort of stuff. He's literally just going in there and brawling with people. It's like a street fight for him.
Aye, exactly. See, when you get to like the elite level, it's literally you're then like just winning by
It's
inches.
almost like a chess match when it gets to that level, I think.
Exactly. It's like, that's where the training really, like, because see if it was just a bunch of amateurs, like maybe that extra wee bit of cardio or extra wee bit of nutrition and stuff, that wouldn't make such a big a difference. But see when you're up at like the very, very top level and you're genuinely like, you can't get much better. That's where this like having your nutrition amazing might just set you that wee bit above.
It's like that 1-2%. That could win you the fight at that level.
There's not too much more you can, like, not too much better you can get. So that extra wee bit of knowledge or that extra wee bit of science or nutrition or something will actually potentially win you the fight.
Definitely. It's almost like Adesanya versus like Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
Like, it's like what a matchup that is, but it's like you say, it's like that wee inch.
Yeah.
It's like a chess match at that point.
Oh, 100%.
They're just both that good.
You're both that good.
They kind of almost cancel each other out.
Yeah.
At that stage.
I think you can only get so far being a brawler, like in the UFC, because there's been brawlers for years and years, and you do just like, people know how to deal with brawlers now. You know, people's footwork, they can just get out of the way, they can set traps, and then especially if you're doing grappling or wrestling and things, you can definitely get away with it. But Mike Perry did get away with it with Mickey Gall. He looked strong.
I think that was the main difference, was the strength.
100%.
He had the strength advantage.
Mickey Gall just couldn't do what he wanted to do in the grappling.
Yeah.
Which, I guess, when you've got a game plan and think, okay, so grappling is where I could win this fight, it must be pretty demoralising if you get to the grappling and it's like, wow, he's even beating me here. He's getting out of submissions. He's actually getting on top of me. He's coming into full mount. He's like...
It's pretty disheartening, man.
Exactly.
Really
Then you must need to start thinking, okay, where can I win the fight? Another interesting thing as well, obviously he didn't have a corner, so all he could hear was Mickey Gall's corner. And he said to himself, like, obviously they'd come up with all, like, I think now
it's like code words for certain moves.
You probably maybe do need more code words now, because you can all hear exactly what each other's corner. Having no crowds, you're going to be able to hear each other's corner quite easily. And I think he said by the third round he'd kind of figured out most of what the code words were. So at that point, and to be honest with you, going back to it, I think Mickey Gall gassed again. I think he looked absolutely knackered. You seen him between rounds, he was taking deep breaths, and then he just didn't have much for him. Mike Perry in that third round, to be honest with you.
Just too strong.
Yeah.
Who do you see Perry fighting next? It's got to be Darren Till, surely. Darren Till set up the fight.
Darren Till will be set up the fight. He's kind of on his own journey at the moment. So I'm not too sure. Like,
I think Darren wants that fight though.
Well, it does.
Darren Till wants that fight.
Darren Till's obviously been trolled. He trolls a lot on Instagram and social media, doesn't he?
Mostly against Mike Perry though.
I think you would be able to create a good story with that.
He's been saying he's going to raw dog his missus.
Darren, that's bad, isn't it?
Raw dog, man. I don't know what that means. Look it up.
I know that's not nice. Not
a
nice.
very nice thing to do.
So yeah, Darren Till's doing his own thing right now. He's got quite a big opportunity right now with Robert Whittaker.
Yeah.
So
I think he's aiming for the title shot, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not going to
fighting him gets him nowhere really.
Nah, that's more just like a grudge match. To be honest with you, isn't it? It would just be more of a grudge match, and it wouldn't do anything for Darren Till right now. Mike Perry's, it was a good performance, but I think he needs to get himself. He did say after the fight that he did want to find a team again. I think if he is wanting to keep competing at the top level, he just took out Mickey Gall. He got away with it. He didn't. I don't know if he was underestimating Mickey Gall. He might have got away with the no camp with Mickey Gall, but he's not going to get away with it at top 5 contenders.
No way.
Do you know what I mean? It's not going to happen.
No.
So
different up there.
Oh, in the top 5. That's exactly it. So he did say he was wanting to try and find a team, potentially Yoel Romero.
Yeah.
Have him in the corner, but he does. He looks like he's just been burnt quite a lot with different people, and he's just like, I want to create a team which is based on friendship and and
which is fair enough, really.
No big egos and stuff, and everyone just
he doesn't trust anyone, does he?
I know.
He just assumes everyone's guilty until proven innocent.
Aye, that's it. That's it.
His mentality.
Did you also hear him speaking about his tax bill and things?
Aye.
At the end, which kind of goes into the whole UFC not paying people enough, because I mean he's pretty much saying after tax right now, the amount he's getting taxed, he's almost fighting for minimum wage. Now Mike Perry fighting for the years he's been fighting, being the star that he is. What was
it he said about the tax bill?
It was just saying last year he paid 100. He was paying 100,000 over 2 different countries or something.
Fucking hell, man.
And he's like, I just need to get more money for the tax now. But I mean,
The taxman's an absolute hell.
It was quite a funny thing that he said. He was just like, Dana White, obviously, pay me, but don't expect me not to spend this money.
Aye.
Like it's like everyone.
Exactly.
It's like they don't want to put money away for tax and that, but it's like don't expect me not to spend this.
Aye.
So he almost wants, I think, Dana to pay tax at source.
I think he referenced a Drake song.
Did he?
I can't remember what it was though.
That was funny. It was really, really funny. I was just like, he's some boy.
He's an absolute character, man.
Like, I mean, John Anik gave him plenty of time. I think they normally gave everyone like maybe 30 seconds.
He got
like
2-3
post.
minutes or something.
He got like 2-3 minutes
Aye.
just because of the stuff like
That's
he comes
it.
out with. Do you know what I mean?
He is brilliant.
But it does kind of go into
I'm a
like,
fan.
oh, I liked him before. Do you know? I liked him in the Paul Felder fight. Was quite a good fight.
It was.
But this is kind of like just the way he kind of went about things and just how different he is.
He's just fun to watch, ain't he, man? His interviews and that.
I'm definitely a bigger fan than I was, to be
Definitely.
honest with you. And I will be.
Aye, I like the way he fights and all.
Yeah, I'll be rooting him on.
Definitely.
I think he just like he seems dead honest, doesn't he? He seems really, really
He
honest.
kind of just speaks his mind, man. There's like no filter there at all.
Yeah, no,
Doesn't
it's
care
good.
the cameras are there.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Just
That's
says what
like,
he's thinking.
I just thought that was hilarious. Just the girlfriend in the corner. Do you know what I mean?
That was.
Everyone was commenting, just
Aye.
like, okay, that's me. My cornermen are getting sacked, and I'm not
Aye.
paying them.
That's it.
I don't know if that was much to do with it, because obviously he is speaking about money and about tax and stuff like that. Do you think that was like, obviously he would need to pay 3 cornermen?
It's a
I
possibility.
wonder if that was to do with
I think
anything as
three's
well.
a bit excessive, isn't it?
Depends on who you're going up against. Do you know what I mean? It's like it really does like.
And what difference can that really make though? Like
Well-
a minute between a round.
Yeah, it just like might be able to see something that you're not seeing. But then his argument is right now he's in the fight. He
I
wa-
kind of caught up in the moment. I guess they can see it from like
yeah,
behind.
especially if you're fighting someone like Khabib, say, and then you would probably want like a wrestler
Aye,
sat
like
there
an
saying,
expert,
okay, this is
aye.
going to be the way to get out that or stuff these
Surely you know
takedowns.
that before the fight.
You're going to probably have practiced a lot of it, to be honest with you, in the fights. But
Maybe it is just the duty payment. It doesn't want to pay 3 people. I think Bidding was saying that.
it looks like a lot of this might have been to do with money as well,
Aye.
which is a shame that like
I know, man.
I feel as if this is
It
coming
should
to a
not be that
head.
way.
I feel like this is definitely to come to a head soon, because a lot of people are talking about money right now. Like, he isn't saying that he wants a pay rise, but he's saying
I think if you're fighting at that level, that shouldn't even be like in your mind.
you shouldn't have
The
to worry
money
about.
should not be an issue
I don't-
whatsoever at that level.
I don't feel as if like you should like. I mean, a lot of these people can't walk away yet and retire.
Aye.
Like, people like John Jones should be able to walk away and retire right now.
100%.
It's not like that's not normal.
No.
Like, see if you put this amount of graft into any other like American sport, like
The best in any
NFL,
sport is
the
they're-
NBA.
They're tens of millionaires.
Yeah, like they get what they're worth. Do you know what I mean? And
That's all
it's-
they're asking for. Pay me what I'm worth.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, the UFC can definitely afford it.
Oh,
1 million
no
percent.
question.
750 million from ESPN.
Aye.
I think they can afford to pay some of the big stars a wee bit more, where they're not
definitely.
thinking that they're
And
paid.
they're bringing it in as well. It's not as if like
They are.
they're plucking it from nowhere. They're
100%.
bringing it in. Like, do you know what I mean?
Especially when they've got like crowds and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Especially
Aye.
when they've got crowds, they're definitely going to be bringing it in. But I was happy for Mike Perry, to be honest with you,
Aye.
to get that win.
Yeah.
It's a shame for Mickey Gall. He's
I'm
still
sure he'll
young
bounce
enough.
back.
He'll be bouncing back. He is getting better every single fight. There is just something right now to
He
do with
did
his.
look a lot better.
He did. His striking was great in the first
was.
round, but there is just something with his gas tank right now, which, I mean, I feel as if being that young, that fit, by the third round, you shouldn't be gassing out as much as that, which let Mike Perry run away with it in the third round.
Aye. I'm sure he'll fix that problem though.
Yeah, yeah. That's
It's
it.
a pretty obvious problem though.
Yeah, yeah, because it's definitely how he ended up losing with Diego Sanchez as well. So
Yeah.
it's been 2 losses in the UFC so far, but he's definitely getting there, and he'll bounce back. But if we go to the
The main event.
main event, now that is genuinely probably one of the best fights.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I was watching it this morning, right, and I was thinking, I can't remember the last time I seen a fight this good. There's been twice I've actually been watching a fight with my mouth like that.
Yeah, I was
Too far.
I was exactly the same today.
One of them, guess what it was? It was the way the fight finished. I was like that. Too far.
The way the fight finished, Adesanya and
The win that was like, I'm trying to think. I don't want to give too many clues.
Conor McGregor. Was it something to do with Conor McGregor? The way the
Masvidal
fight-
was involved.
Oh, Darren Till, Masvidal.
That,
Masvidal, Ben
Askren.
Askren. Aye, that was a
I was actually like
shocker.
that for about 2 minutes.
Aye,
watching that this morning, I was like, what?
No one is expecting this. Aye, so it's like the Masvidal and Ben Askren one. You seen it, and it was just like something that happened, and you're just being like shocked.
Aye.
Whereas this was just non-stop. You're like, oh my goodness, they're still
I
going.
think the thing that was so shocking was how they were still on their feet.
Nah, I didn't get that either.
They were getting literally like destroyed on the feet, man. Like,
I would
so
say
many punches landing flush.
Both of them have serious chins, but Dan Hooker especially, the stuff that Poirier was actually like landing, especially when they were in tight, coming off the cage, he was landing some serious shots. It was pretty unbelievable.
It was an exceptionally good fight.
Did you notice just how clear they could hear Michael Bisping?
Aye.
That was...
He was even saying, like, remember he kicked him down in the groin?
Aye, and he was like, listen to Michael Bisping. So obviously Dan Hooker had caught maybe Poirier a couple of times on the cup, and then
it was literally like straight after each other as well.
Michael Bisping on the commentary was saying, "You've got to stop that." Do you know what I mean? That's enough. And then you hear Dustin Poirier just saying, "Look, I listened to." So that's what I was thinking. Like, see, like whenever anything was getting landed remotely, especially the body kicks, Dustin Poirier was landing in the first round, throughout the rounds. Really, the body kicks every time. Michael Bisping was just going crazy. It was just like, it was like, oh, it was unbelievable.
You must be able to hear that like crystal clear as well, because it's right there.
I could hear like almost the echo, because I was listening to it with
in the corner,
headphones on,
actually,
and I could hear the echo, like where you could hear him on the TV, but then you could also hear it from the microphone inside the octagon as well.
I had that a couple of times actually.
I was just like, that is.
What do you think was the difference though between the two? Because like on the feet they were pretty well matched.
Going into the fifth round, it was 2-2, I reckon.
I think so.
Dan Hooker was literally lighting Poirier's leg up. Do you know what I mean? Especially that wee like side calf kick.
Aye.
I thought that could have came in later rounds. I thought that could really make a difference. But in my head, I was also thinking Poirier's dealt with Justin Gaethje leg kicks,
that's right.
and it just makes him more angry. To be honest with you. I thought Dan Hooker was looking really, really good when he was keeping it at length, because he was landing quite a lot of stuff, and Poirier was struggling to get inside. But when he was inside and he was maybe up against the fence, I think it was just the amount he had in his arsenal. See, just like the amount of different attacks that he had. Like even when he was up against the fence, the mad like punches he was just throwing, the elbows he was throwing in the way out.
He was so creative. You're right.
Then on the ground, he was obviously elbowing. He was never. There was nowhere that he wasn't throwing punches to give damage. Do you know what I mean? He was never giving up any position without throwing something. And if Dan Hooker threw one punch, he would throw two after it to make sure that he was catching up.
That's it.
You know,
the judge's eyes at least.
I did think Dan Hooker might sometimes have been stealing rounds due to the takedowns.
I think the later rounds especially, man, his coaches like that, just like, don't forget, man, we've got a game plan here. He was going for takedowns.
He was. And like, I mean, like a lot of times Dustin Poirier was just jumping into the trying to get the
that's right.
And I was just kind of thinking, okay, I don't know if this is.
It was deep a few times though.
It was.
I think the blood, it just made it too slippy, man.
It was kind of jumping into it, and I was thinking, okay, are the judges going to think Dan Hooker's got this takedown? Are they going to score that for Dan Hooker, or are they going to give that? Are they going to see that Dustin Poirier's actually went for a submission? He's not got it. You know, so I wasn't 100%, but it was just unbelievable. It
was a crazy fight.
I've not seen.
I think Dustin deserved the win though.
I think so. It definitely went the right way.
I think it was 3-2, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. It's like the first two rounds.
I don't know how it went the distance though.
I don't think
every round there was like, how's it going to get past?
What
this
did you
round?
predict?
I predicted Poirier stoppage round 4.
I predicted end of round 2, maybe beginning of round 3.
It could have happened. That could have quite easily happened.
I think if MD else was fighting, like that, there's a good chance that would have happened.
Fair play to Dan Hooker, but man,
see the chin.
He deserves to be up there against those guys. He's just as good as those guys.
It's just, to be honest, like they have like, they both just absolutely brawl. See if you actually look at Dustin Poirier's like work that he's done in the like, I mean, who he's been fighting, it's just unbelievable.
Where does either of those guys go from here then?
So that's a really, really good question.
Because Poirier is not. His last fight was a title shot.
His last fight was a title shot. Obviously, he lost to Khabib.
I mean, he's beaten Gaethje. He's fought.
No,
Khabib.
well, look at who he's actually who he's fought here, right? So even if you just go from like, remember the Eddie Alvarez fight that became a no contest, right? He was winning that, and that had to obviously get stopped because of the legal elbows. But then he went, obviously he went on to...
Hell, man. Look at the calibre of those fighters.
Exactly. Anthony Pettis win, right? Justin Gaethje, absolute brawl,
That was phenomenal.
wins. Eddie Alvarez, another, like, I mean, these aren't easy people.
Nah.
Ex-champion, win. Max Holloway, win. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he goes on to Khabib, loses to Khabib.
That is some record, by the way.
It's an amazing record. He only lost before Khabib. He lost to Michael Johnson. But when was that? That was 2016. Do you know what I mean? He's went on quite a winning streak.
He's a terror, man.
But so kind of,
I reckon if Gaethje takes a belt off Khabib, he should fight Gaethje again, rematch.
yeah. Well, what I was thinking as well. Remember Gaethje and Eddie Alvarez fought, and they
Gaethje
called
and Alvarez.
that. Aye. Remember Gaethje and Alvarez fought. Gaethje and Alvarez.
Oh yeah.
It was just before Poirier fought Alvarez, and they were fighting for, what was it? The most.
The most aggressive
What
fighter.
was it? It was the most aggressive or most violent fighter in the UFC.
Most violent. Yeah.
So where does that put Dustin Poirier? He's beaten both of them in extremely
Exactly.
violent fashions, in violent fights,
Exactly.
TKOs for both of them. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
That's a
where do
point,
you
actually,
put
man.
him?
That's such a good point.
He's
He
unbelievable.
beat both of those guys.
So, like, I guess what people will probably be saying is, right, okay, there's a couple of options for Dustin Poirier now. Does he wait around for the winner of Khabib and Justin Gaethje, which is going to be probably like 9 months, 8-9 months, because that fight, the Justin Gaethje and Khabib, isn't due till mid-September. So if they fight mid-September, when you think about it, you're going to need at least 3-4 months, depending on how that fight goes. Remember, it's a Gaethje fight; it can get nasty. Do you know what I mean you're into next year, and do you leave him waiting, or do you give him Ferguson, that just came off a loss, to Justin Gaethje? The person I would quite like to give him, Connor McGregor, because
it makes so much sense.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Because that was one of his
That's who he lost to.
That was a grudge match as well, man.
It would be. I would like
That's
to
a
see
shout.
Dustin Poirier against McGregor.
It's got to be McGregor, doesn't it?
You do have the option of Dustin Poirier waiting for his title shot.
Yeah.
And what it was, like, me and Natasha, is like, obviously Khabib probably hasn't really fought Andy twice. He's not giving people rematches.
Yeah.
So could someone like Dustin Poirier learn from the first fight and then come in against them?
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
You would. I mean, it's like,
In his head, he probably imagines it would go a lot differently.
yeah. I mean,
Because he probably looks back at that fight and thinks, I didn't even show up for that fight, I've done nothing.
yeah, he probably
He
regrets.
didn't do anything that
He
fight.
probably regrets quite a lot of decisions
He
that he
hardly
made.
even threw anything.
It's like Conor McGregor obviously losing to
battled
him.
with it.
He done really, really well against Khabib, but he's convinced he could beat him
Yeah.
the next time. So it's almost like you come up against this puzzle, you know, and it's like he's maybe so much better than you thought you were. You're a wee bit overwhelmed the first fight, but then you come away, you come back, and you readjust, and you come back in.
Aye.
Khabib-
Especially when it's your first title shot.
I think I'd maybe like to see
pressure.
Khabib give someone a rematch and just see how someone does with a rematch against them. Conor's probably, I'm about to say Conor's probably done the best, but Ali Quinta's probably done the best against Khabib.
I think Connor's probably done the best, man.
Do you think
See,
so?
It's when you look back at that fight, you actually realise how well Connor done.
Was it the third round he won? Conor
won
won
the
the
third
third round,
round,
which is
aye.
probably Khabib's only really lost round. And I'd maybe quite like to see Khabib
I'd like to see
rematch
Conor
someone.
go up against Khabib, like, being active though.
Yeah.
I don't want him to just come back for that fight after a 2 years layoff.
Again, he's already been out for probably too long.
Aye.
He's fought.
I want to see him like active and then go in.
He's fought obviously Cowboy, but that was like 50 odd second long fight. Maybe if we did give Poirier and Conor, if that matched up, then who obviously the winner fights the winner of Khabib and Justin Gaethje. You know,
I agree.
I think that would be amazing, and it's like it's just amazing fights. They would do such good numbers.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really, really good. I think it'd be really good.
And we're going.
We'll definitely be going to the next Conor fight. There's no doubt
100%.
about it. That's obviously if he comes out of retirement.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
right
sure
now,
he will, man.
as we speak right now, he says he's still in retirement.
Aye. I think he'll come back for the love of it.
I think so. I think he should.
And if he gets an opportunity to fight Khabib again, which I think he deserves.
I think he'd come back for Dustin.
come back.
Dustin as well. I think he'd come back for
So
that.
do you reckon give McGregor the winner of Khabib and Gaethje and give Hooker?
No, I'd give Conor, Dustin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier now.
Sorry, I forgot. That's what you were saying.
Give Dustin Poirier
Yeah.
Connor. Give him that money fight.
Yeah,
Like,
he
I
deserves
think
it.
Dustin Poirier, he's put such a graft into the sport. Look, like we've just went through earlier, just who he's beat.
He's beaten
the
everyone.
fashion that he's beat these people, and I think it'd be a bit of a grudge match between Connor and
so.
Dustin, and it would be like, see if we thought last night's fight was something else. Think of what that would be.
Oh my god!
Do you know what I mean, even without fans,
I think I was sleeping the run up to that fight.
Nah, I couldn't.
Genuinely couldn't.
As I speak right now, I don't
Leave
know
it
if
until
I
the coronavirus is over, though, so fans are allowed.
fans are back.
And
We want to get to that.
That's not a fight you'd want to go ahead without fans.
Because that means Dustin Poirier is getting a nice money fight. He's going to fight. Like, obviously, I don't think he'll want to wait until the winner until next year to get his title shot.
I don't think so.
Keep him active.
I think that's the only fight that really makes sense for Poirier at the minute.
I think so. There's MDLC would fight in that division right now.
Doesn't
Would
really
just
put
be a
him anywhere.
back step for him, and it's not going to put him anywhere. And it's not like he's got anything else to prove.
No,
He's got nothing else to prove.
As he says, paid in full.
He has paid in full, to be honest with you, and I love watching him fight, and I like him as a person as well. He seems ridiculously respectful.
I was watching him on Food Truck Days the other day.
All right.
He's just such a sound guy.
Yeah.
Just so sound.
I'll get him on here.
It'd be awesome.
It'd be good to get him on
That'd be
here.
awesome.
We'll get him on here.
That would be so
soon.
cool, man.
We'll get on here soon. That would be good.
We need to actually get one fight on here at some point.
Yeah, when you start getting guests on.
I think when the whole pandemic's over, we'll start.
Yeah, we'll start getting guests on.
Start
We'll
going places.
Yeah, definitely.
Getting about it.
Aye.
Therefore.
No, so all in all, the UFC was great last night. I mean, the UFC have been doing great in general the past the past month or so, just starting back up. The next thing is obviously going to be Fight Island, where it all kicks off. Do you know what I mean?
Is that next weekend that starts?
No,
2 weeks
I think
from
it's
now?
2 weeks. So
2 weeks
we
from
must
now.
have a week off
Right.
this week.
Give them a chance to prep all the Fight Island.
Give them a chance to prep.
Fair enough.
To be fair, the Apex Centre has been great for obviously
so
UFC.
I didn't realise how much smaller the Octagon was though. It's
Yeah,
like
so-
33% smaller.
Yeah, which is
Which
a
is a
massive, which see for the smaller fighters that want to get in close, it's quite a massive advantage for
Yeah.
them. That kind of takes you on to kind of like see the Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic fight. Stipe is really not wanting to fight in a smaller octagon because he said that he doesn't want to fight in a smaller octagon because it definitely gives Daniel Cormier. You know how Daniel Cormier fights. He needs to get inside.
Yeah.
He wants the smaller octagon, and he reckons it will obviously benefit him. But I don't think they're going to change.
I think like what we were saying earlier, it's like it is those things that make a difference at that
Yeah,
level.
100%. Because I don't think the Daniel Cormier and Stipe isn't on Fight Island. Fight Island does have the bigger cage. They're going to be back in Vegas in the Apex. So yeah, so it's, like if they tried to do it earlier, if they tried
We
to
never
get
know.
it
Things
sorted
might
earlier,
change by then.
Yeah,
They might move location.
I don't think they.
It's still quite a time away. It's still like 4 or 5 weeks away, is it?
Yeah.
So
And
hopefully
I don't
things
think the UFC would like change their I don't think they would change that setup just for Stipe. To be honest with you, do you know what I mean? It's the Apex is looking good.
It looks amazing.
It's like it got done. It only got done up like, was it a couple of years ago? It got done up, and like what a time
Is
to
it
have done
right
it.
next door to the Performance Institute?
I think it's like,
I think it's literally right next door.
is it attached?
I'm not sure if it's attached. I'm pretty sure
Maybe
they
just
bought
right next door?
a big what do you call that?
Because was it not always used for TUF,
I genuinely couldn't tell you.
the Ultimate Fighter?
I'm sure.
I feel as if they just renovated a lot, maybe bought more
Right,
of the
okay.
units or
It's
something.
expanded it a
You
bit.
might be,
That's
you
what
might
I
be
was looking
right.
for,
I feel as
units.
if like they might have just like bought more of the units, and like they've now just. I mean, like I think it's even down to the production of. They probably didn't have the amount of camera equipment and the type of angles. You know, the camera angle that comes from way from the crowd into
I was
the
thinking
octagon
about
and
that this
stuff.
morning, actually watching the fight. See, when the fight goes to the ground, it's like a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
That's such a
The
cool camera
sound,
angle,
the
man.
sound last night was amazing as well. Like, I hadn't heard punching quite like it in the Dustin Poirier and Dan Hooker fight. You could really hear every single punch as well. I was just like, it's like, obviously with
Must
that,
have got a couple
that's
of
without the crowd
podcast
as
mics
well.
strapped to the canvas.
Aye, they must do. They must
do.
do. But yeah, the Apex Centre, like they must have thought, yeah, we've done that up at the right time. Nobody would have known this pandemic was
Nobody
coming.
could predict that.
But they've had this to go to for all their fights, and I'm happy for it.
They're lucky.
Obviously,
Lucky to
speaking of TUF, Joe Rogan came out with a wee bit of information, which he doesn't normally do. He doesn't normally come out with new
Exclusive.
information and let stuff
wee
go.
exclusive, aye?
But it's a wee exclusive. It's the
Yeah.
newest TUF coaches.
Right.
They're obviously starting the Ultimate Fighter back up again, and the new coaches are going to be Israel Adesanya and Paulo Costa.
I mean, doesn't get much better than that, does it?
It really, really doesn't. I mean, that is I mean,
And then obviously they're going to fight after it.
They obviously fight after it. Now that is quite something. That fight in general is going to be amazing.
So that's his next fight going to be then.
That's-
I'm assuming TUF going to start quite soon.
TUF will probably start quite soon, because I'm assuming the pandemic's not going to stop them.
No.
Because obviously they've got that place. I don't actually know where I found that actually. I don't know where it is. That's it there. So yeah, Israel Adesanya and Paulo Costa set to be TUF coaches, reveals Joe Rogan. Now Joe Rogan is in the know. Now, he knows a lot of stuff, but he doesn't let a lot of stuff go. He doesn't tell people.
Everyone's always trying to get information out of him because they know how closely he is to the UFC. But
on his podcast, he was just kind of talking about how the Ultimate Fighter it kind of like turned the UFC around really, because they were like 40 million in debt at that point, and the Fertitas were actually asking Dana White. They were saying the Fertitas that used to own the UFC before they sold it, they were asking Dana White, look, find a buyer for this because we're literally 40 million in a hole and there's not much we can do with this, you know. And then obviously they came out with the Ultimate Fighter. They came up with this idea. It's a bit of a reality show, but it's obviously with fighters. They live in these big mansions.
What a
and
show.
obviously they come together, and then the winner obviously gets a contract with the UFC, and
it's
that
a pretty genius show, really, isn't it?
it really was. I think especially
So
back then, like they must have just switched on that reality was kind of the way forward. And I think they paid for it. They produced it. They done everything. I remember they were looking for sponsors to stick on the octagon, or they were looking for sponsors to actually help pay for the production of TUF.
Right.
Like they were just going to obviously put the adverts before and after the show and have it in the octagon and stuff, and they couldn't get anyone.
That's insane, man.
It just goes to show like how far back this was. No one was like supporting cage fighting. It was just for everyone. It was cage fighting.
Upon, wasn't it?
So what they decided to do is let's just put UFC all over it.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? Let's just put the UFC all over it. They had it on the canvas. They had, I can't remember what fight it was, but they had a fight coming up, and they were just advertising that at every commercial break, and that kind of drove the traffic. You know,
That's clearly worked.
I think they've come away from TUF for a wee bit recently.
Because I've seen they've got every single series on Fight Pass.
Do they?
And I've been watching the Uriah Faber McGregor one.
That was a good one. That was really,
that's
really
good.
good. That was really good. Who won that? Was that Ryan? Was that? Who won theirs?
Was it the me guy that does like the ankle locks?
Yeah, was it Ryan
like
Hall?
Was
Was his name Ryan Hall?
Probably, I'm not sure.
I feel as if it's like Ryan Hall or something like that.
Let me see.
I just couldn't remember if that was on their one. He just kind of kept getting everyone into ankle hooks.
Ryan Hall.
Ryan Hall. That's he was.
Hall wins makeshift TUF title.
He was his last fight PJ Penn.
I have no idea.
Do you remember he was fighting? And he
he's pretty small.
That's the way he finished it.
Forward roll.
Yeah, he does.
He is.
Some boy. I've not seen him too much in the UFC. I've not really seen too much of him.
No.
He's kind of like he kind of looks like this kind of like specialist. He takes you a bit by surprise. He doesn't look like an actual UFC fighter.
He's not very well rounded, but
I think this will be amazing. Israel Adesanya and Paulo Costa.
I'm definitely watching that.
Joe, I just feel as if
they're both in their prime right now as well.
They are. The thing with Israel Adesanya, I think he's got away with words though, and I feel as if he could probably rile up Paulo Costa throughout those weeks.
His English isn't the best, is it, Costa's?
I don't think he is, and Israel Adesanya is quite good with words, quite witty, and I feel as if he could really get under his skin throughout this process. But
there's no doubt about that. He's going to wind them up.
That fight in general will be amazing.
Unreal. Who do you think takes that fight?
It's hard. I think Adesanya will do it. You know, to see his
I think so. I think if I hadn't seen him fighting against
Romero,
I'd probably say Costa's going to win. He's just too big, too explosive, too powerful.
Aye.
But even
like the thing with Romero though, I expected to see more. I was really looking forward to the Romero Adesanya fight because I was excited to see what Adesanya can do with a real power puncher like that. But I feel as if Romero didn't show up. It wasn't a normal Romero. That was confident to come forward. He was just literally it was actually a really bizarre looking fight. They
always cancelled each other out, didn't they?
Yeah, so that's how I'm not ridiculously confident that Adesanya will win, because see if I'd seen Adesanya dominate Romero or take one of his big punches and then be able to land his own and almost put Romero down and stuff, I'd be like, yeah, well, Paulo Costa is almost just a carbon copy, you know, and he's going to be able to do the exact same.
Yeah.
I don't think Costa is going to be as reserved as Romero was. I think he is.
He just comes forward.
He's going to come forward. Man. He's willing to take a punch, to land a couple, and then
he's proven he's got a good chin.
Yeah, and the couple he lands is devastating, and it can be devastating. So it's going to be a really, really close fight, but I feel as if Adesanya will probably, just with his foot movement, his length, just his striking in general. I don't
think he'll finish Costa. I think it will go the distance.
I think it could be an amazing fight. I think, see if both of them show up and they both want it. Like, I feel as if a lot of the times, like, see people like Romero, this was his third time he was getting an opportunity at the title.
Yep.
Robert Whittaker twice, and then Adesanya, wasn't it? Like, so Adesanya, this was his third title. Why do sometimes like fighters not show up? This is their opportunity to get what they wanted. Like, who cares if you get knocked out at that point? Go forward. You need to implement your game plan.
Especially when it gets to the end of the fight, you're like, I've clearly lost. I've got to go for the finish.
And he still wasn't. I know he's an explosive fighter. He'll always sit back for a wee bit, then explode. But I feel as if he wasn't even exploding during that fight. You know, so I'm really I don't think Paulo Costa will make that same mistake. I feel as if
so. I think he'll learn from watching those fights as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think in all his fights he just moves forward. So that is going to be like
a mad fight.
You know something? See, by the end of this year, there's going to be so many potential fight of the year. Like, what a year for it! 2020.
It's a phenomenal year lined up, man.
No one would have guessed it. No. Obviously, with this,
it's been a shit year in terms of like everything apart from fighting.
Exactly. Everything apart from, like, honestly, the UFC. It's been
pretty dire.
Pretty mental. But no, like, I think it's good to get TUF back. I think it'll be a good reality show, good to watch. There's been some amazing people come out of it. Just think Tony Ferguson, he's obviously come out of it. And then even most recently, you've got Sean O'Malley, which is potentially going to be the next biggest star.
That kind of takes me into something I want to talk to you about. Actually. Where are you in terms of
Sean O'Malley
being the next Connor McGregor?
Loving Sean O'Malley. Genuinely, like,
do you reckon he's got the potential to be as big as McGregor?
I think it's hard to become as big as McGregor now because of the way the UFC works. The UFC doesn't need to build their stars as much as they used to. Like, because when the UFC they didn't build Conor McGregor, but they definitely helped push Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor bought everything he needed, his personality, his aura, his everything, you know, to make him a star. But the UFC were definitely behind him to make him this star because it was going to benefit the UFC. They don't need to do that as much for fighters. But I do feel as if Sean O'Malley is bringing just as much as Conor McGregor did back at the beginning.
I feel like I think he will be the next UFC superstar, but I don't think he'll be like a global superstar.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Is. I think that's what I'm like trying to get at as well. It's just, I think
because like, in terms of superstars in the UFC, I think right now people that can speak well and all that, like, they do end up like superstars. I think Izzy Adesanya.
Yep.
I don't think O'Malley will be any bigger than Adesanya. I think they'll probably be similar. Like, he might just be similar heights.
He might just be faster at getting to that stage. You know, he is like. I think he's got everything it takes to be a big star, but I don't think UFC needs big stars anymore. And that's why they don't probably promote their stars as much as they used to, because they don't really need to. They're guaranteed their money. What good does it do?
Because they used to do like world tours, not McGregor. They used to go like 5-6 different countries building a fight.
Conor McGregor,
they don't do it anymore.
Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo, they literally done a world tour. And I mean, it was unreal. I was like, every interview I was on it because I was like, this is actually unreal, and you're just,
I consumed everything.
Your mind was just getting blown. This is a guy that's not lost in 10 years. Conor McGregor, is he really that good? Look at the amount of disrespect he's given him, and it built it, and it built Conor McGregor. It gave him a platform to show what he can do. And I feel as if Sean O'Malley got this same platform, he would be able to get to where Conor McGregor is.
He's winning the way he's winning.
Yeah, but I feel as if you do need the platform out with the UFC.
I think so.
Because I think like it's, I watched Chael Sonnen this morning. I was watching a video of his, and he was kind of making quite a good point. Let me just try to think what he was actually saying here. So he was saying that for last night's fight, there was, I don't know how he got the numbers, but there was 100,000 new fans. This was probably new subscribers to ESPN or something like that, you know. 100,000 new fans watching the UFC last night. Now, if they're watching the UFC for the first time, they're obviously seeing Dustin Poirier, they're seeing Dan Hooker, they're seeing Mickey Gall, they're seeing Mike Perry.
Yeah.
That's going to be their favourite fighters. That's 100,000 people seeing amazing fights. That's their best fighters. They're going to go and tell one or two people, you know, that builds it up. That's like 200,000-300,000 fighters wanting to see these people fighting. Do you know what I mean? Like Dustin Poirier and things. They're not really interested right now in John Jones, Masvidal. You know, like I feel as if like the way Chael Sonnen was saying was the amount of new fans that the UFC's getting. This
Now's
whole thing
the
about
time to shine
legacy,
sort of thing.
yeah, now the is the time to shine, but this whole thing about legacy doesn't really matter. They're always going to be able to have stars in the UFC that people want to see. So it's always given the UFC leverage. Because obviously Masvidal saying, okay, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight until maybe I get paid a certain amount of money. Look at what they're able to put on and the numbers they're probably going to still be able to do without them.
I know.
You know, it's like the sport is still evolving quite a bit, getting new fans.
In terms of big names, Poirier is big-ish name.
Yeah.
But Poirier Hooker, you wouldn't imagine that would generate 100,000 new fans.
No, you
like
wouldn't.
Brand new fans.
I think a lot of it's to do with obviously what the pandemic we're in just now, and they've got
there's nothing else to do.
I think maybe, hopefully, maybe boxing fans are coming over. Maybe fans from other sports like maybe football and stuff.
Up,
and like I mean, I think going back to your question, obviously with Sean O'Malley, I feel as if he will bring new eyes, definitely. But I don't think he'll be as big as like say Connor McGregor. He'll get to probably where like you said, where Israel Adesanya is and stuff, and I hope he does because I love to watch him. I think he's
I'm a massive fan of him.
I think he's a great character, and I think when you can bring that type of aura, be that character and fight.
Yeah, you show up and deliver each and every time.
Yeah, it's like anyone can talk trash, but then they get knocked out in their fight. You don't really believe their trash talk as much anymore.
Doesn't really work, does it?
It doesn't work.
No.
And that's what happened with Conor McGregor. It was like
the fact that he can back up his shit talk, his trash talk.
One of the big things for Conor McGregor was Mystic Meg. Because he used to be like that.
Yeah.
Mystic Mac. Because he used to say, okay, I'm knocking this guy out in the second round, and he would do it. Sean O'Malley's doing almost the same sort of thing. He's
so confident, man.
Confident almost to the point where he's disrespecting his opponent. You know, I don't think he's meaning to do it, but he's just that ridiculously confident in his ability that and then he just goes out and performs.
Have you watched his Food Truck Diaries yet?
No, I just seen the first wee bit of it, but
it makes you even more of a fan of him.
Yeah, he seems. I've watched his podcast a couple of times as well. I watch his predictions. I've seen a wee bit of his stuff, and he does just look like a dead, normal.
He just seems dead down to
young.
Earth. He's just really, really confident. He just really believes in himself. He's not arrogant. He's not cocky. He's just confident because he believes in his abilities.
He's easy to like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously he was on the way up, and then he got obviously banned for 2 years for substances. I think it might have been the. Do you know what I mean? Which is no surprise.
How's that have any sort of enhancement on your performance though?
But
3 years is a bit excessive.
I feel like the 2 years might have helped him quite a wee bit as well.
That's what he said. He said he put on 8 pounds of the muscle.
So
in all the right places.
He probably went from like a boy to a man.
Yeah.
You know, and like
he's only 25 now, I think.
It's unbelievable.
25.
So he must have got banned when he was 23. You know, it's young. That's young.
Very young.
You know, and a lot of fighters might think, okay,
it's probably done him good, to be fair though.
I think it has. Look at his latest performance. Do you know what I mean? And he's now up there. He's getting spoke about. He's going to be. Did you see where he's ranked yet?
I think he's number 15 now.
He's 15, right? Okay, so he's now in the rankings.
I think he's in the rankings.
That was good. That's good. And his next fight will definitely probably take him into the top 10.
He wants to. Who is it he's talking about fighting? I think Chito Vera. He wants to fight next.
Right. Okay.
Which is another stand-up guy, man. But he was saying again, I think I'm just going to knock him out.
Yeah. I don't think at this point you can debate. No. I don't think at this point you can.
There's no denying the guy's abilities.
Not believe him, but
I think it's how quick he is, man.
Yeah.
He's not got the most amount of power. Well, he's obviously got a lot of power, but I think it's his timing.
Yeah.
People don't see it coming.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like, see, if you see a punch coming, it may not knock you out.
You can kind of
sometimes it doesn't even need to be like a lot of fighters say that they can sometimes get knocked out with not such a strong punch because they've never seen it coming, and they're kind of almost maybe going into it. You know,
it's the one you don't see coming.
It's the ones you don't.
It hurts you so much.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. But I want him to be a big star because I think he deserves to be.
He's flashy. He's fun to watch.
I'll always love watching him. I'll always love probably talking about his fights. We need to get one here as well. 100%.
100%.
And I think his hair helps. I think his hair in that last one helped. Do you know what I mean? The rainbow hair.
Because he was talking about doing it early on. I think he was talking about doing his UFC debut.
Oh, was he?
But I think he's kind of glad he's held off to now.
Yeah, no, that I think he just so stand out with that. It was small stuff like that. He just looks the part. Even the tattoos on his face and all that sort of stuff. You know, it just he really, really does stand out.
His tattoo says it's sugar.
Does he have one with sugar? I feel as if he
dollar sign.
Does he have a wee like love heart in one, and then maybe like you might be right, a dollar sign in the other. But
how much bigger do you think the McGregor fight? Not McGregor fight. The Mayweather fight made McGregor
huge.
Think it made him much bigger.
Aye, I'd say so, because a lot of people that maybe didn't watch UFC before, think how much bigger boxing is,
it's been going
and think
so
how
much
much
longer.
Maybe casual fans there is in boxing. Okay, so then think, okay, they've probably never watched UFC, but then they're seeing this Connor Mcgregor come in, trash talking someone that is a champion. Was he 50-0 at that point, or 51-0?
49-0, and then
was he 49-0 at that point?
50-0 now, he's beat McGregor.
And then they're probably just thinking, who's this Irish guy coming in, trash talking? And again, that's when they do a world tour. They just do like America and all that. They've done quite a lot.
He's in London as well.
So that is like Joe. I think that
he's got to have.
Yeah,
sure.
Definitely.
How many buys did that get? 4-point-something million, I think. That's insane.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, it's a super fight though.
I know.
Doesn't get much bigger than that.
Floyd Mayweather's always like threatening to come back, isn't he?
Aye.
I think somebody beat his record recently.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's like it's not a massive name. I don't even know who it was, but it's like I think somebody beat his record. So he may come back. You never know.
Hopefully.
You never know.
I'd like to see him come back.
Yeah. No, but Sean O'Malley, I would love him to be a big name.
I hope he is. The sport is
and
good
I think
when the sport's got big names, man, because he gets you excited for the fights as well.
I think he's got potential to be really big.
I think so, definitely. He ticks all the boxes.
He does. I'll always like to watch him. I really, really will. The View. Okay, have you seen that? So Michael Bisping and Chad Mendes is kind of going back and forward right now. It's a bit of like
What's that about?
So it's actually Chad Mendes was banned recently. You know, he's only just came back from his suspension.
Oh yeah.
Well, Michael Bisping was kind of like on Instagram. I think it was Instagram, maybe Twitter as well. Just kind of like rinsing him for being a dirty cheat. That's like, you know, he wasn't holding any punches.
Really?
And then obviously Chad Mendes is coming back saying that, okay, it was actually for, what was it for? Like peptides or something like that. It's like, it was something small.
Picograms. And
he was also saying that I'll let USADA suspend me and all that sort of stuff, you know. But then he got quite harsh calling him a wooden-eyed such and such and all that, do you know what I mean? But you know, but Michael Bisping never takes all that sort of stuff seriously, so I think he started getting back to him and stuff, you know. And so they've been kind of going back and forward, but it's a bit of a random one. See, if they were closer in weight, you'd be like chuck these two in the
just nowhere near
into the octagon, do you know what I mean? But yeah, so like it was pretty harsh stuff. And then like Chad Mendes was saying, hey Bisping, let's get some shit straight here. When I let USADA suspend me, it was for a banned peptide under their rules, not a steroid, just to put some shit into perspective for morons like you. Too much caffeine. I think it was also later on that one he was talking about his wooden eye. But then he's right. When Michael Bisping, when you let them suspend you, you're so generous and giving. I wouldn't let someone suspend me unless I was guilty. Look a little suspect, you see. But you crack on, big lad. I wouldn't like to.
It's a fair point, though, isn't it?
I know.
If you know you're not guilty, you don't let them suspend you.
You don't like.
You
Yeah, exactly. You would fight
it.
Especially like where like they are in their careers and stuff. But I don't think I'd like to get in a back and forward with Michael Bisping. He's pretty good at rinsing folk.
Trash talk's not bad, is it?
It's good. I must say.
The best I've ever seen him talk shit is against Luke Rockhold.
Oh,
so good.
That could be a lot of what won him that. Like Luke Rockhold was raging going into that fight. Did you even see him after the fight with Luke Rockhold?
He was raging.
I mean, Luke Rockhold was like almost knocked out, and he was still like
when he knocked him out up in the cage, gave him with the finger. No.
Aye. And he was rinsing him even still, you know, which I thought was kind of harsh when I was watching it. But it's Michael Bisping. Do you know what I mean? If they were a wee bit closer and wait, you'd say right, Chuck, Chad Mendes and Michael Bisping will come out of retirement and they'll go. But I reckon if they see each other on the street, they'll probably go at it. But it's just
you've got to respect each other after a fight like that, though. I think after most fights,
Luke Rockhold and
Michael Bisping, you've got to have
yeah.
some sort of respect for each other. You just went through a brawl with someone.
Without knowing, like, I think Michael Bisping's probably like quite hot-headed and stuff like that, you know. And at the time, he probably doesn't regret it at all, to be honest with you. But he probably did respect them after it, you know. It's all in the UFC. A lot of it is genuinely just trash talk. I mean, you don't
to build fights. You don't make more money, really, in it.
You don't genuinely believe a lot of stuff you're saying.
Fight.
But yeah, so Chad Mendes was obviously suspended.
So is he back now? Or is he?
He's back. He's fought a couple of times since. Can't remember who he's actually fought, but he has his.
See him against Volkanovski, man. What a fight that was!
Oh right, when was that?
Volkanovski looked brilliant. That was
Oh, that
must
yeah.
be like 3 years ago, maybe.
See, to be
2.5.
honest with you, that's where I first actually
Seen
started
Volkanovski.
taking notice
Aye,
of
that's when I seen
Volkanovski. I was like,
Volkanovski.
wow, he's actually got some power here. He can
Aye.
take a punch as well.
He looked
He
fantastic
looked
against
quick.
him.
And that was the first time I'd really thought, okay, Volkanovski, right? That's kind of where I first really thought of the name. You know, I first actually like took notice. Because obviously Chad Mendes was... he's a like not a household name, but he's a name that you know in the UFC. Do you know what I mean?
McGregor helped him release his profile a wee bit.
He looked like he'd given McGregor a bit of trouble.
We did.
You know, like it was quite a mad
He
fight.
took him down.
Took him down, McGregor. I think
Pretty
that's
bad
where
elbows.
a lot of people like debated whether Connor McGregor had any ground skills because Connor McGregor was down, taking elbows, and he was looking at the ref to get Chad Mendes off him. But Chad Mendes was working hard.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Landing
He was
all
landing a
sorts.
lot of vicious elbows.
Yeah.
So yeah, McGregor just needs to have it and fight again because there's literally nothing else like it.
The hype around it is quite unbelievable. There's going to be so much more coming up now though in terms of I guess Fight Island and all those fights. Now we've only got we're only a couple of weeks out. I mean, I would love to have been heading to Fight Island to be honest with you to cover these fights.
Come true, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
I'd pay you money to go there.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. I think you'd.
That'd be unbelievable.
I know. Jeez, it's
I
going
can't
to
think of anything better.
Nah, it's going to be quite unreal. I think it's going to be quite unreal to see it. Just seeing these fighters adapt to that situation. You know, the heat there.
Yeah.
You know, just being totally out of their elements.
I mean, where else would you rather be in the world than Fight Island?
I know. Abu Dhabi.
See if you're going to Fight Island. See if you're going to Fight Island, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate that because I noticed.
Innit?
How lucky is the schmo?
I know.
Oh, he had Dana White in his podcast, and it was actually Dana White that ended up saying, he was coming to Fight Island.
He assumed he was going.
And he was like, pretty much the way we would respond is, we would love to go to Fight Island, but we're not. And he was like, okay, I'll sort that out. You're coming to Fight Island. I mean, that is just unbelievable, isn't it?
It'd be insane.
Oh, I know. No, I would honestly, I would love that. But you know, I would really like. I would love to go there. But you're not also going to want to speak to about. What was that thing talking about? You know, the behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, it was just I was on Instagram this morning. It was John Anik's Instagram. It's just like a wee BTS look at how they interview fighters now after the fight.
Because it's quite different, isn't it? I wonder if they'll keep doing that for a while.
It was just strange to see, man.
I'm almost kind of used to it now, where the fight, like obviously back in the day, Joe Rogan would come into the octagon or Michael Bisping, someone like that, and do the interview. But now they obviously need to come out and they go and stand.
Here it is here. So this is the desk set up now, man. It's just they're all pure spaced out. This is obviously after the fight, how they interview people. This is him interviewing Poirier. He's basically there, actually like looking over the room at him.
Oh, is he? Is he like? Can you see him?
Like, it's just weird. He's way over there, like still speaking to him. It's just weird to get a BTS look at it, innit?
So he can see him.
This is behind the scenes video of my post-fight interview with a total legend.
Yeah.
What a week.
I think Dustin Poirier is a bit of a legend, and I don't think MD can deny that now after that fight. You know, John Anik's a bit of a legend himself as well.
Yeah, he is. So it's in my comments here. Stash is on point, mate. Stash is on point, actually. Look at his story. I was like, what the fuck? It looks like he's died it.
Is this John Anik's Tash?
Oh, that's got to be died.
Because he's normally looking quite grey, doesn't he?
That's got to be died.
You would like to think so. Some boy, John Anik. I quite liked his response to Mike Perry. It was just generally.
Have you seen the octagon on the beach at Fight Island?
No, I've not. I think I've seen a picture of it. You know, like the picture from above. You know, it's like all I've seen is the picture from above. And
you see it? I'll show you.
You can see it. But is this just kind of for like the sparrings and stuff, probably?
For like training and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if they had open workouts, they would probably have them there. Do you know what I mean? But nobody's really going to be there. Maybe for the media workouts, they could do it. Oh, it does look lovely. I think Dana White's right though in terms of on camera trying to film that might be pretty hard. Yeah. Just in terms of like you don't know what the weather's going to be like, what the lighting's going to be like.
Always changing. The
production
coming and going.
The production might not be quite as good, you know. So.
But what a place for the fighters to go, man. What an experience.
I know. It's going to be a massive experience for them. I think that's why a lot of them want to be doing it. I did notice that I seen an interview with Volkanovski. Obviously, he was saying that he would rather have got the fight maybe a wee bit later with Max Holloway, but the reason he took this was because it's the first fights on.
Right, okay. It's understandable, but
yeah. I think their training needs to be so different as well. Just in terms of like, you need to train for that heat. You know, that's not normal.
And imagine it would be a lot different for people from the UK and stuff. But see, Americans, I think they feel the heat as much as we do.
I feel as if they will. Like, I think there's probably going to be American heat, and then there'll be Abu Dhabi heat.
I think Dubai players.
I think you're right, probably
different. Though. Dead humid, man.
Like if it was a UK fighter, like Darren Till,
yeah,
Darren Till's going to be fighting there. Like, I mean, Liverpool is a massive. You're right. Liverpool's going to be a massive difference to Abu Dhabi than maybe what Florida, Miami, you know, LA. That's not quite as different, but you're all going to feel the heat quite massively there.
Yeah.
It's going to be a massive factor in these fights.
Definitely.
But yeah. Now we'll get into more of that. There'll be a lot of that evolving. I guess a lot of the fighters will be travelling there soon as well.
Yeah.
Especially only 2 weeks to go. They'll all probably want to try and climatise to that heat, the time.
Definitely.
Try and get that nailed down, because it's going to be quite a bizarre time that they're actually training as like fighting as well.
Aye, definitely. But yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think
we've covered everything.
I think that's everything
to talk about
that we need to cover now. So yeah, obviously last night's fights were just unbelievable. What a way to finish right now in the Apex, and head over to Fight Island. Do you know what I mean? Which are, I think the fights will just continue to be on that level. So yeah, and I'm looking forward to all of this.
Can't wait.
Look forward to maybe breaking down some of these fights on Fight Island as now. See what comes out, and yeah, we will see you guys later on in the week.
We shall.
See you later.
Take care.
All the best for the Bills.